Florida, USA. My name is Emmary, and welcome to POWELLful Couple Journey, where we show you our random activities here in the US. And this is where I also show my immigration journey from being a J1 teacher with 212E rule, now a green card holder. I am so happy that there are a lot of J1 teachers who trust our Facebook group, which is the J1 Waiver Helping Hands, and also joining us through subscribing with the J1 Waiver Immigration Experiences through POWELLful Couple Journey. Thank you so much for being here. The reason why I wanted to do a live video is to tell you about the checklists on how to start with our J1 waiver. So for those of you who don't know what is a J1 waiver, it is needed especially if you have the 2-year home residency requirement. This is because if you are a teacher originally from the Philippines, you filed for, you wanted to get a J1 teaching position here in the US, then there is a stamp in our DS 2019 that says you are subject to a 212E rule. In order for you to get a waiver, you have things that you have to consider. Like for example, if you got married to your US citizen spouse, or if you have your US citizen child, or also you can have an interested government agency that wanted to hire you. Like for example, if you are in an Indian reservation, then that could also be the case. Or persecution, if you feel that you're persecuted in your home country, or if there's like same-sex marriage, because I know some J1 teachers also had that for their waiver application. So in my case, I was able to submit our J1 waiver through exceptional hardship with my US citizen spouse. I live here in Central Florida with my husband William, and this is my way of sharing how I did this J1 waiver through do-it-yourself process. There are forms that you have to submit, just like Form I-130, Alien Petition for Alien Relative, I-130A, which is another support. You also have to submit your Form I-612, which is the waiver through the USCIS, then your DS-3035 with the Department of State. Then if you wanted to know if you are really subject to the 212E rule, you can also submit an advisory opinion. Then you have to submit the I-485 if you wanted to adjust status. And if you wanted to get your work permit, you can also do that through filing the Form I-765 and the travel document, which is the Form I-131. So there are a lot of things that you have to consider at the same time. The different filing fees through the USCIS and with the Department of State. So if you are in a situation where you got married on your second year as a J1 or on your fourth year, then congratulations, because you have 2 years to process all your papers. If you got married in your first year, it's not advisable to submit immediately, because they're gonna say that you need to at least fulfill at least 1 year of being a J1 teacher, and that's where you have to also put all your documents, evidences together showing that you are legit and your relationship does or will have a hardship if the 212E home residency requirement of 2 years will be imposed to the J1. So today I am going to tell you the checklist. This could also be found in the POWELLfulCoupleJourney.com. That is our website. So with this, you can also see our different statements of reasons with the DS-3035, our statement of reason for the I-612, the monthly budget that we did. We also have cover letters We also have this checklist that I'm going to tell you. And also, there are things that you would rather wanted to see. And if you wanted to do a one-on-one Zoom meeting with us, I could also help you with that. And after the Zoom meeting, whatever questions you wanted to have, as long as I have time, I will really dedicate my time in telling you, helping you with the process. Because right now, the J1 waiver could take within a year or it could take 2 years. So if I were you, just make sure you have all your files, all your papers ready. That way you know where to start. So this checklist has things that I would like you to prepare. So like for example, your passport, make a lot of copies. If you are married to your US citizen spouse, you also have to prepare his birth certificate, or if he has a passport, much better. Then prepare as well the DS 2019. I mentioned already the visa, your birth certificate. Also prepare for the filing fees. So look at uscis.gov. That way you know the filing fees and prepare with money order. It is not recommended or advisable to pay through credit card because they might want to just return your application and it will delay the process. So again, if I were to ask what is the first thing I have to do the checklist. So prepare all the documents needed. At the same time, think if you are married to your US citizen spouse, you are blessed because there are a lot of perks if you married a US citizen. However, it is not guaranteed that you can get the J1 waiver. I have a lot of friends, they have to go back to their home country, which is the Philippines or other Asian countries or even in Europe because they were not able to get their waiver. We all know, especially the J1 teachers, we all know that the EVP or the Exchange Visitor Program Committee in the Philippines does not give right away the no objection statement. So that's why the next route for us is to file for the waiver. So there are step-by-step process in order to do that. So just make sure your husband already submitted the I-130 through online. And if you are going to have your documentation, make sure you have the pictures of your marriage, pictures of the letters that you have or plane tickets if you had been to different states, because that's showing that you really are engaged to being a faithful marriage. So make sure you have all those documents. And besides, with the USCIS, they have a PDF instruction where you can see what are the steps in order for you to do. Even though it's a vague one, but if you read between the lines and your US citizen husband as well is helping you with the process, it's going to be very easy. So just make sure that you have all your documentations. Now, aside from the checklist, again, go to POWELLfulCoupleJourney.com. That is the website. I really dedicate that for you guys. It's not that much, okay? It's just for charity purposes. I support the mountain pastors in the Philippines. I'm already supporting 3 mountain pastors because of the website. Thank you so much for that. And I am really hoping that this small channel of ours could really help J1 teachers to become successful as well, even though it's just a do-it-yourself process. Because I'm telling you, when it comes to lawyers, they're really there to help you. But some lawyers, I'm sorry to say, they're just getting your money and they're not even honed on how to get a J1 waiver. It's easy to get a J1 waiver. Just get the right knowledge. Okay? So I have printed for you guys, this is a paper where I printed my documentation and the step-by-step process through the application waiver of exchange visitor program. So this is the 2-year home country physical present requirement. Before you're gonna go through with this, go to travel.state.gov. It is the website, official website of the Department of State. Or you can go to Google and type J1 waiver, how to file a J1 waiver. Then the first one that will pop out is the Department of State travel.state.gov. There you would see a document that says you have to read the eligibility information before you begin your waiver application. The key thing here is to read. You have to read every details. Even the finer details, you have to do that. So you are subject to a 212E rule, home physical presence or home residency requirement if, number one, if you are funded by the government. So like for example, you have your visa sponsor that gives you everything, okay? Accommodation, house, plane ticket, and all. There might be, just look at your DS 2019. If it's checked there that you are government funded or if you're a Fulbright scholar, it's really hard to get a waiver. But there are ways on how to get a waiver for that, but it's really hard. According to other immigration lawyers, it's hard to get a waiver if you are government funded. Number two, you are subject to 212E rule if you have specialized knowledge or skill. So we from the Philippines as a J1 teacher, we are specialized with our skill as an educator. I am blessed because I came from CICD, which is in tracks now. I am self-placed. I paid for my plane ticket. I paid for my visa sponsor. I even have an agency from the Philippines. And by the way, speaking of agency, if you wanted to file for your family to come here, go to Filipino Visa because Filipino Visa is really there to guide you. I'm going to put the links here and what are the things that you can go through because it's nice to have an expert advice or expertise from other people who already done this for several years, okay? Then the third one is you are subject to 212E rule if you are a graduate for medical education or training. So these are people that have higher knowledge on medicine. So most likely they are like Indians that they wanted to have more knowledge on being in the field of medicine or being a doctor. So it's really up to you. Now, step one, if you wanted to file for a waiver, either you can file the DS-3035 or the I-612. But think of this, the DS-3035 now, through an exceptional hardship waiver, could either be 6 to 12 months or even 4 to 6 months. But the I-612 with the USCIS could either take 13 months to 17.5 months, which is 1 year and 6 months to get the waiver approved. So think of it, which one would you like to submit first, okay? So step one for the DS-3035, complete the online J visa waiver recommendation application, which you need a statement of reason, a good statement of reason. It's not just so simple that says, I state your name, is able to get or needs to have a waiver, blah, blah, blah. No, you need to make it become strategic and you're making it a story. Tell them why you need that waiver. So again, if you wanted to get an insight on how I did my statement of reason, nobody did this before to me. I'm the only one who did the research. Now I did the website. That way you can just take a look at it, make it a sample. That way you know that, oh, Emmary did it through herself and she is successful to do it. So again, just visit POWELLfulCoupleJourney.com. That's the website and you can see my statement of reason. Number two, mail your waiver application and fee payment. The fee payment, I believe, is $120. That is only for the DS 3035. But if you do the I-612, which is the waiver through the USCIS, before I paid $930. With the payment now, April 1, 2024, they changed it. It's kind of like higher now, so it's really up to you. Please do the research, USCIS filing fees. That way you know how much you're going to be paying. Number 3, submit supporting documents. Now, what are the supporting documents that you can put to your exceptional hardship waiver if this is the route that you wanted to do? With the exceptional hardship waiver, there are 2 things that you have to prove. Like, for example, with your U.S. citizen spouse, or if you have a U.S. citizen child. Number 1, how will it impact if you have to go back to the Philippines while your U.S. citizen spouse or your U.S. citizen child has to stay here in the U.S.? Okay? What are the hardships that they're going to be facing? Are they going to be facing financial hardship? No, that's where the monthly budget comes in. Are they going to be facing with psychological hardship? Now, that's where the psychological evaluation has to come in. So make sure you have all the finer details and think of the totality of circumstances. The other thing too is you have to prove if the U.S. citizen spouse or your U.S. citizen child has to go with you to your home country, just like the Philippines. What is he going to be facing? So like, for example, he's going to be facing language barrier, his education, his job, he's going to be jobless there, his insurance. So put all the details that you can have, because they are not just looking at one hardship, they're looking at the totality of circumstances for that hardship on your U.S. citizen spouse or with your U.S. citizen child. So think of your supporting documents. A lot of immigration lawyers are recommending to have psychological evaluation. I even know one lawyer, he already has like a psychologist that is attached to his law firm, because he knew that that is the one key in order for the USCIS to give the to give the approved letter. And with the DSR 35, the favorable recommendation. Because here in America, mental health is everything. So with the psychological evaluation, it has to go where the USCIS has PTSDs or anxiety that is beyond the extreme. So that's why it's called exceptional hardship. Number 4, check your waiver request status and update your contact information. So like, for example, you already submitted all the documents. It has to be packet 1, packet 2, and there's like a barcode. You're gonna have a case number. I think the case number is 7 digits. Then you need to go to that website, travel.state.gov, J1 waiver, just type that one and you can see your case number. Most likely if you submit, let's just say this week, let's just say you submit July 24, 2024, you cannot see right away your case or your case number. It's not showing yet. It will show maybe in a month or 2 or even 3 months. Just wait, because there are a lot of J1 holders submitting their forms. It's not only you. So there are a lot of them wanting to get their waivers too. So just be patient. This is a battle of waiting, really. So the agony of waiting is one that is really like giving us anxiety, but just believe and pray and everything will be well. Just think about that one. And if you have your U.S. citizen spouse, you are blessed, because they said even though you kind of like overstay with your visa, as long as you have your U.S. citizen spouse, you will be forgiven. But think of this, it's election time already. It might be changed because every president or administration is different. So just think about the overall deal, not just your own situation. Step 5, if the waiver review division needs more information from you, they're going to message you through your case number. So they're gonna say their additional evidence that they wanted to have. Just make sure you have your updated address, because there's sometimes they're gonna send you a mail. I call it snail mail because it's very slow to be sent to you. Number 6 is processing times. So if you are compelled to submit your exceptional hardship waiver, then again, look at the timeline and the processing, because that's where you know when you're gonna get your favorable recommendation. Okay, listen to this one. With the Department of State, DSR 35, this is what you wanted to hear. Favorable recommendation. You need to get a favorable recommendation. But even though you get a favorable recommendation, you still need to get the approved paper from USCIS through the I-612. So just make sure all of those go hand in hand, okay? The DS-35 and the I-612. And last but not least, step 7, the Department of State recommendation and final determination by the USCIS, which means if you're gonna get a favorable recommendation with the Department of State, you can see the favorable recommendation and it says there they need the Form I-612 and the Form I-613. Then after a week or two, which it happened to me, I receive my approval with the I-612, and that's where I get my waiver. The moment I got my waiver, I submit through the portal with the I-485 adjust status, and after that I got my green card. So my process starts month of May 2021 all the way till November of 2023. So just make sure you know your process. I submitted in my 3rd year. Is not advisable because think of this, your SEVIs, which your visa sponsor will do the extension, is through the Department of State. So what if they see that you filed your waiver? There might be chances, or you told your friends that, hey, I'm gonna submit my J1 waiver. As much as possible, just keep it to yourself. Just keep it to yourself. Don't tell anybody, and just pray about it. If you really wanted to stay here in the U.S. with your U.S. citizen spouse or with your child, then do the best for you, because every case is unique. My case might be the same as yours, but your statement is different, and your situation, your timeline is different than mine. But the POWELLful Couple Journey is here to help and support you. Look at all my files, the step-by-step process, how I did it, and I'm so thankful to our J1 Waiver Helping Hands group. We're 3,200 already, and we are helping each other, telling who are our good lawyers or your good lawyers, and of course, some of you are also supporting the POWELLfulCoupleJourney.com, where you are wanting to have a Zoom meeting one-on-one. I already have 2 J1 teachers wanting to meet me and my husband virtually, which is I'm so happy because we could give our ideas. I cannot give a legal advice. I am not an immigration lawyer. I cannot give a legal advice, but what I can share are my ideas and my success with the immigration, showing my process with the exceptional hardship waiver. And I am so thankful that a lot of you are responding very well when it comes to my featured posts and guides. If you have friends that have a J1 J1 holders with 212E rule, just let them know that we have J1 Waiver Helping Hands group in Facebook that is here to support, to help, as long as they agree to group rules, and I will accept them immediately. Thank you so much for being here, and I'm so thankful that most of you, even though not given the time where I would post for a live video, you are here, you are helping, and you are really asking for like good insights, and you said, hey, I wanted to do a Zoom meeting with you one-on-one where I'll be guided together with my husband. Again, I am so thankful that you are here. God bless you. Please click subscribe, and let's spread the news and the good word that God is helping us with our J1 waivers. And J1 Waiver Helping Hands Group is here to give you insights. And Powerful Couple Journey through YouTube channel is here to support as well. Don't forget, if you wanted to have a Zoom meeting with us, just go to Powerful Couple Journey and just put .com, and then we're gonna schedule our Zoom meeting, and we're gonna talk about ideas on how to really get your favorable recommendation and approval with your I-612. Just think of the totality of circumstances. Thank you so much, and God bless everyone. Thank you for watching.